The Foundation for Peripheral Neuropathy is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to improve the lives of everyone impacted by peripheral neuropathy. We do so through our primary programs of awareness, education, advocacy, and research, with a goal of improving therapies and hopefully one day finding cures. One of our organization's primary research programs is the Peripheral Neuropathy Research Registry. The registry is a biobank of human blood samples that are collected from thousands of patients that are impacted by peripheral neuropathy.
So the mechanisms of disease, especially for the number one cause, diabetic peripheral neuropathy, are not really understood right now. And we don't have great treatment and prevention strategies, and we don't have great diagnostics either. So I think this is an area that's really wide open for a research revolution. And I think the number of people impacted by this disease make it even more urgent.
One of the unanswered questions in our field is not everybody with diabetes, for example, develop peripheral neuropathy, and we really don't understand why some people develop neuropathy and others don't. The same thing is true for patients with chemotherapy. Majority of the time, people who are subjected to chemotherapy develop painful peripheral neuropathy, but not all of them. And just comparing those patients with neuropathy and without neuropathy, we're hoping to identify genetic or perhaps other metabolic risk factors that puts them at high risk and develop prevention strategies.
And the registry is really designed to answer these fundamental questions about neuropathy. And as we gather more and more data, we'll be able to explore more and more questions. How genes might influence risk of neuropathy. There's work going on now looking at genetic determinants of why some people have pain and others don't in neuropathy, which is a really huge question. There's a really good example, I think, of the promise of the registry, and actually this was one of the first studies that we did with the registry, and that is to look at sequence variants in voltage-gated sodium channels and their relationship to neuropathic pain. There's a strong body of evidence now that sequence variants in these ion channels are important in the pathogenesis of neuropathic pain and perhaps in the pathogenesis of neuropathy. This study actually found that there wasn't a relationship between these variants and voltage-gated sodium channels and development of neuropathic pain within the registry cohort, here really looking at idiopathic neuropathy. Now that may sound like a negative outcome, but really important in drug development, and this actually led the group examining this question to not go down the path of developing small molecule therapies targeting these particular ion channels, because it turns out that they weren't associated with pain.
So with the Peripheral Neuropathy Research Registry, we are collecting lots of information that is being deposited in a REDCap database, and that information is available for researchers from anywhere in the world.
The other thing about the registry is it's intrinsically a longitudinal exercise. We're gathering data from new patients over time, but we're also following patients over time. And as we're doing that, there's growth in our understanding of the science underlying the questions we're trying to answer, as well as the techniques we might use. So things that might be possible now in terms of genetic sequencing or bioinformatics were not possible when we first started with the registry. So I see this continuing. The goal is the same. The goal is to treat patients with peripheral neuropathy and ideally be able to prevent neuropathy.
We have the patients fill out about a 30-page questionnaire detailing their types of symptoms, where it's affecting in their body, covering all different peripheral nerve modalities, including sensory, motor, autonomic nervous system. We collect information about associated diseases, their family history, their medications. And in addition to that, there's a standardized peripheral neuropathy exam that documents the different findings in different types of neuropathy patients. But also we collect information about the nerve conduction studies, skin biopsies if they were done, as well as extensive blood tests that are done as part of their clinical care. In addition to these, we collect blood for serum and plasma that are saved for future research use, and we also collect DNA.
So the blood samples and DNA available in this registry allow really sophisticated research to be conducted at the level of genetics and epigenetics that may describe some of the causes or predispositions for peripheral neuropathy that haven't been elucidated yet. In the future, a registry like this has the unique capability to coordinate patient samples across the multiomics revolution that we're seeing in biology. This allows proteomics, lipidomics, metabolomics to be corresponded to the transcriptomics and genomics from a single patient. This allows us to compare functional assays with the genetic predisposition from a single person. So the fact that this registry is including so many academic institutions with access to well-characterized patients really makes it unique. A single institution alone would have a difficult time enrolling enough people and having enough samples to do a study with enough robustness. So this is a really unique resource being generated for use across all of academic research.
There are 30 million people affected with this disease, and yet it is truly an unfunded disease. We need to spend more money on research, we need to spend more money on people understanding it, and we need to spend more money on having people live with it. It is a debilitating disease that people need help with to cope on a daily basis, and the more we can find and develop research for it, the better people will be in the long term.
The fact that the Foundation for Peripheral Neuropathy is able to coordinate such a massive effort is really impressive and really unique among foundations that cover diseases. I'm not familiar with any other foundation that helps coordinate a biorepository of this size and scope.
Any researcher can access and request these resources through the foundation. Research proposals are reviewed by the Scientific Advisory Board and are approved on a first-come, first-served basis.
I strongly encourage all investigators interested in peripheral neuropathy to collaborate with us at the Foundation for Peripheral Neuropathy in using the Peripheral Neuropathy Research Registry to answer the questions you're investigating right now. We're passionate about using this tremendous research registry, which now includes thousands of participants with deep phenotypic information, as well as biosamples, DNA, to answer fundamental questions about disease mechanism and therapeutic development.
Peripheral neuropathy impacts so many people, and with your help, we can all make a difference.
If you're interested in collaborating with us, which I hope you are, please reach out to the Peripheral Neuropathy Research Registry. We really look forward to working with you.